Love is not a simple thing. It's not a fairy tale, nor is it a constant, predictable force that showers you with warmth at every moment. It's complex, filled with contradictions, and often misunderstood. And one of the great paradoxes of love is this: when a woman truly loves you, she may not always be there waiting on you hand and foot. She may at times ignore you. Now you might wonder, why would someone who loves me ignore me? Shouldn't love be about constant attention and care? But that's not how deep emotions work. That's not how the human psyche functions. See, the more a person cares about you, the greater the emotional risk they face. And in that risk, there is fear. Fear of vulnerability. Fear of losing control. Fear of being so invested in someone that they lose their own identity. Love is a force that does not always manifest in obvious ways. The human mind, conditioned to seek comfort and predictability, assumes that love should be constant attention, perpetual validation, an unbroken stream of warmth. But real love, deep love, powerful love, it does not operate by these naive expectations. It moves in paradoxes, in contradictions, in ways that often confuse those who fail to understand the depths of human psychology. A woman who truly loves you may not always move toward you. Sometimes she will step back. Not out of rejection, not out of indifference, but because the weight of her emotions is too great to express in a simple, predictable manner. When love runs deep, it carries the potential for pain. It opens wounds that never existed before, creates a vulnerability that was once unthinkable. And in that vulnerability, there is a natural instinct to protect oneself. The moment a woman realizes she truly cares, that she is emotionally invested, that you hold a power over her that no one else does, she may retreat, not because she wants to leave, but because staying close feels overwhelming. Love is not always an embrace. Sometimes it is the fear of being consumed. The mistake weak men make is assuming that distance means disinterest. They panic at the first sign of emotional withdrawal, interpreting it as abandonment. They rush to fix something that was never broken, failing to recognize that love does not always announce itself with words. A woman who loves deeply may ignore, not to push you away, but to see if you are strong enough to handle the intensity of her emotions. She needs to know that if she lets you in, you will not crumble under the weight of her love. Human emotions do not function in straight lines. They are not formulas with predictable outcomes. The more invested a person is, the more complicated their reactions become. A woman who sees you as just another man will have no reason to step back, no reason to hesitate. She will give surface-level affection because you do not hold real power over her heart. But when she truly loves, when she feels something undeniable, the dynamic changes. Suddenly, she is aware of her own emotions in a way she wasn't before. Suddenly, she realizes that her happiness is now tied to your presence, your words, your actions. And that is terrifying. The world has conditioned people to fear losing control, to maintain independence, to avoid falling too deeply, too fast. A woman who has built walls around herself, who has learned to rely on no one but herself, does not simply abandon that mindset the moment she feels love. Instead, she fights it. She tests it. She retreats into silence, not to punish you, but to see if she can still function without you. Because if she cannot, then you are no longer just a choice, you are a necessity. And that realization is both beautiful and dangerous. She does not want to be weak. She does not want to feel like she needs you more than she needs herself. So she distances herself, not because she has stopped caring, but because she cares so much that it disrupts the way she sees herself. Love, in its purest form, is not just about happiness, it is about transformation. And transformation is painful. It forces people to confront fears they never acknowledged, to abandon the comfort of detachment, to admit that someone else now holds the ability to hurt them. Men who do not understand this will chase, will beg, will demand an explanation. They will seek constant reassurance, asking questions that only reveal their insecurity. Why are you distant? Did I do something wrong? Do you still love me? And in doing so, they prove that they do not yet comprehend the nature of deep love. Love does not require constant validation, it requires understanding. A woman who withdraws does not need a man who panics, she needs a man who remains unshaken. A man who knows his worth does not beg for love. He does not crumble under the weight of emotional tests. He recognizes that distance is not always a sign of fading feelings, but sometimes a sign of overwhelming ones. He understands that love is not a transaction of equal and constant exchanges, but a dynamic force that ebbs and flows, that moves between passion and restraint, between closeness and space. When a woman ignores you, it is not always because she wants to leave, it is because she wants to see if you will follow. And if you chase, if you show that your sense of self is dependent on her presence, then you reveal a weakness that repels her. But if you stand firm, if you continue on your path, if you allow her the space to navigate her own emotions, then she will return. Not because you forced her, but because she sees that you are the kind of man who does not falter. Powerful love is terrifying. It is not lighthearted affection. It is not fleeting attraction. It is a force that disrupts, that unsettles, that shakes the very foundation of a person's emotional stability. A woman who is in love is not just dealing with another person, she is dealing with a realization that her heart is no longer entirely her own. And that realization is overwhelming. Many men assume that love should be constant reassurance, that if a woman truly cares, she should always express it openly, eagerly, without hesitation. But that is a naive view of relationships. Love is not a performance. It is not an act of endless, predictable affirmation. It is raw, unpredictable, and often difficult to process. A woman who loves deeply is not just dealing with her feelings for you, she is dealing with the battle between her heart and her mind. She ignores you because she needs to regain her balance, because she needs to test whether this feeling is something she can handle, because she needs to know that if she allows herself to fall completely, she will not lose herself in the process. This is not a sign of weak love, it is a sign of profound love. A love that shakes her core, that challenges everything she thought she knew about herself. A man who does not understand this will fail. He will react emotionally, will assume the worst, will sabotage what could have been something extraordinary. But a man who does understand this will remain steady. He will not demand attention. He will not beg for validation. He will not question his worth based on temporary silence. He will continue to be the man he was before she loved him, because that is the man she fell for in the first place. A woman's love is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet, cautious, hidden beneath layers of doubt and fear. Sometimes it manifests in ways that seem contradictory: distance, withdrawal, silence. But these are not signs of indifference. They are signs of emotional depth. And only a man who truly understands the nature of love will see them for what they are. If she loves you, she will ignore you, not to hurt you, not to push you away, but because love is not just about wanting, it is about needing. And needing someone is the most terrifying thing of all. Emotional investment is not a casual affair. It is not something people step into without consequence. The deeper the attachment, the greater the risk, and where there is risk, there is fear. Love is not just about joy, not just about passion, not just about connection, it is about vulnerability. The moment someone truly cares, they are exposed. They have something to lose, and that terrifies them. The stronger the emotions, the greater the instinct to withdraw, to protect, to retreat into silence rather than risk total devastation. A woman who loves deeply is not just falling for you, she is fighting the battle between her heart and her survival instinct. When love takes root, it disrupts everything. It is not gentle. It does not ask permission. It storms in, dismantling walls that took years to build. A woman who has guarded herself, who has learned to stand alone, does not simply let go of that identity because of a feeling. She resists not because she does not love you, but because she does, because love is surrender, and surrender is terrifying. She ignores, she distances, she hesitates not to test you in a manipulative way, but because she is testing herself. Can she handle this? Can she let herself need you? Can she trust herself to give you a power over her that no one else has ever had? Weak men assume love is supposed to be easy. They believe if a woman truly cares, she will express it without hesitation, without resistance, without caution. But deep love does not work that way. Deep love shakes a person's foundation. It is not just about happiness, it is about transformation. And transformation is painful. A woman who loves deeply must first come to terms with what that love means. It means losing control. It means exposing weaknesses. It means giving another person the ability to shatter her world. That is not a small thing. That is not a risk taken lightly. The more she cares, the more she fears. Fear of abandonment, fear of disappointment, fear of misjudging you, of investing in the wrong person, of building her emotional world around someone who might not truly be what he seems. A woman who loves deeply does not just feel love, she analyzes it, she wrestles with it, she questions whether she is making a mistake by allowing herself to fall. And in that uncertainty, she may pull away. Not because she wants to leave, but because she needs space to understand the storm inside her. A weak man will chase. He will beg for reassurance. He will demand answers as if love is a contract with guaranteed terms. But love does not operate by demands. Love is not owned, not controlled, not dictated by the need for constant validation. A woman's heart does not open to desperation, it opens to strength. If she pulls away and you crumble, you prove that your foundation is weak. You show her that your sense of self is dependent on her presence, on her attention, on her approval. And that is the last thing she wants. She wants a man who stands firm, not a man who falls apart. When a woman ignores, she is not always rejecting. Sometimes she is protecting herself from the weight of her own emotions. Sometimes she is overwhelmed by how much she cares and needs time to process what that means. Sometimes she is afraid that if she lets you in fully, she will lose herself in the process. A man who understands this does not react emotionally. He does not panic at silence. He does not let his confidence waver because of temporary distance. He remains steady, knowing that true love is not rushed, not masked, not manipulated by fear. Men who do not understand this fail. They fail because they believe love should always be expressed in ways that make sense to them. They fail because they cannot comprehend that silence can be just as meaningful as words. They fail because they assume that emotional distance means a lack of love, when often it means the exact opposite. The stronger the feeling, the greater the hesitation. The deeper the attachment, the harder it is to embrace it fully. A woman who loves you is not just dealing with affection, she is dealing with the collapse of her emotional independence. A woman who has never truly loved before may not even recognize what is happening to her. She may be confused by her own reactions. Why does she feel this way? Why is she so affected? Why does the thought of losing you scare her more than she wants to admit? And in that confusion, she steps back. Not because she wants to, but because she must. She must regain control before she allows herself to let go completely. She must be certain that you are worth the risk. And in that moment, your reaction determines everything. If you break, if you plead, if you demand, you fail. If you remain unwavering, if you continue your path, if you allow her the space to find her own way back to you, you succeed. Love is not about holding on with desperation. It is about inspiring confidence. It is about showing, not telling, that you are a man worthy of trust, of respect, of admiration. A woman who fears her own emotions does not need a man who feeds that fear by showing his own instability. She needs a man who reassures her without words, a man whose actions prove that he is solid, reliable, unshaken. A man who does not need constant affirmation to know his own value. Weak men demand love. Strong men embody it. Weak men beg for attention. Strong men inspire it. Weak men assume silence is rejection. Strong men recognize it as contemplation. The difference is everything. The way you respond to a woman's emotional withdrawal determines how she sees you. If she loves you deeply, she is not ignoring you to hurt you. She is ignoring you because she is overwhelmed by how much she feels. If you fail to understand that, you fail to keep her. Love is not always loud. It does not always declare itself in the way you expect. Sometimes love is quiet. Sometimes it hides. Sometimes it steps back, not to leave, but to find clarity. If you cannot handle that, you are not ready for deep love. If you need constant reassurance, you are not yet strong enough to hold something truly powerful. A woman who loves you does not need you to chase her. She needs you to show her in your silence, in your steadiness, in your unwavering presence, that you are the kind of man who does not break under emotional pressure. That is what makes her trust you. That is what makes her return. That is what makes her stay. Love is not just an emotion, it is an instinctual force that operates beneath conscious awareness. It is a battlefield of unspoken tests, silent evaluations, and hidden challenges that separate the weak from the strong. A woman does not love with blind faith. She observes, she measures, she assesses. She needs to know that the man she invests in is not just an option, but a force, a presence, a foundation strong enough to hold her world without crumbling. And she does not ask for this assurance with words. She tests it with silence. She tests it with absence. She watches how you react when she is no longer giving you constant validation, because that is the only way to see your true nature. A woman's love is not granted freely. It is earned through proof, through resilience, through unwavering presence. Any man can show affection when it is easy, when she is reciprocating, when there is no resistance. But the real test comes when the attention fades, when she pulls away, when she removes herself from the equation to see if you will collapse or if you will stand firm. The mistake weak men make is assuming that love should always be smooth, always be affirming, always be predictable. But love is not a straight road. It is a maze of uncertainties, and only the strongest men navigate it with confidence. A woman does not test you out of cruelty. She does not distance herself out of malice. She does it because she has no other way of knowing who you really are. Words mean nothing. Promises mean nothing. Intentions mean nothing. Only action, only composure, only the way you carry yourself in the face of uncertainty reveals the truth. If you panic, if you chase, if you beg for her to return, you expose weakness, insecurity, and emotional instability that she cannot trust. But if you remain centered, unshaken, focused on your path, she sees that you are not just another man, she sees that you are rare. Love is not a matter of romance alone, it is a matter of power. Not power over her, but power over yourself. A woman does not want a man who is dependent on her for his emotional stability. She does not want a man who needs constant reassurance to function. She wants a man who is whole, who is complete, who does not waver when she withdraws. Because if she ever allows herself to fall completely, she must know that she is falling into strength, not into weakness. She must know that she is aligning herself with a man who will not falter when things get difficult. She must know that her love is being placed in the hands of someone who can carry it without crumbling. Men who fail to understand this are men who remain confused by the nature of love. They assume that if a woman ignores them, she has lost interest. They assume that if she does not constantly express affection, she does not care. But that is not the truth. The truth is that she is observing. She is stepping back to see if you will step up. She is watching whether your confidence is real or just a performance when things are easy. She is removing herself to see if you remain whole without her. Because a man who is truly worthy of love is a man who is not shattered by distance. Every woman, whether she admits it or not, has tested a man this way. Some do it consciously. Some do it instinctively. But all do it because all need to know. They need to know if you are capable of standing alone. They need to know if your presence is built on strength or on neediness. They need to know if you will crumble under emotional pressure or if you will hold your ground. If you fail this test, you fail the relationship. If you reveal desperation, you reveal weakness. And weakness does not inspire devotion, it inspires doubt. A man who is shaken by a woman's silence is a man who is not yet complete within himself. A man who spirals into insecurity the moment attention is withdrawn is a man who has not yet mastered his own mind. And women see this, feel this, understand this without needing to be told. They do not need explanations. They sense whether a man is solid or fragile. They sense whether a man is built on purpose or on dependency. They sense whether a man leads his life with confidence or follows the need for validation. And that sensing determines everything. A woman may not even realize why she pulls away, why she distances herself, why she creates space. But the deeper part of her knows. She is waiting for a response, even if she does not consciously intend to test you. She is waiting to see if your world collapses without her. She is waiting to see if your strength remains when her presence is no longer fueling it. And the moment she sees weakness, the moment she senses that her absence has disrupted your entire sense of self, something in her pulls back permanently. Not because she wants to hurt you, but because she cannot trust you with the weight of her love. A woman does not give herself fully to a man who cannot stand alone. She may entertain him, she may engage with him, she may even care for him, but she will not surrender to him. And that surrender, that deep, unwavering loyalty is something that cannot be demanded. It can only be earned. Earned through steadiness, earned through presence, earned through an unshakable core that does not tremble when love is uncertain. If a woman senses that you are only strong when she is there, she knows you are not strong at all. Love is not about proving yourself in moments of certainty. It is about proving yourself in moments of doubt. Any man can stand tall when things are clear, when love is expressed openly, when there is no challenge to his sense of worth. But the men who command devotion, the men who inspire trust, the men who earn the deepest levels of a woman's heart are the ones who remain unmoved when the storm comes. They are the ones who do not seek validation. They are the ones who do not beg for love. They are the ones who do not chase when she steps back. A woman's love is not a prize given freely to those who ask. It is a treasure reserved for the few who prove they can hold it without fear. And the proof is not in words, not in gestures, not in grand declarations. It is in presence, it is in steadiness, it is in the quiet strength of a man who does not need constant reassurance to know his own worth. A woman who loves deeply will step back to see what you do. If you falter, if you waver, if you reveal that your strength was an illusion, she will never trust you fully. But if you remain as you are, if you continue to lead your life with the same confidence, whether she is near or far, she will see something rare. She will see something undeniable. She will see something that cannot be ignored. Weak men fail this test before they even recognize they are being tested. They reveal their insecurity the moment they feel uncertain. They reveal their weakness the moment attention is withdrawn. But the men who understand, the men who have mastered themselves, the men who walk with purpose, these are the ones who never lose a woman worth having. Because they do not chase, they do not break, they do not question their own value based on a temporary shift in affection. And that is why a woman, even after pulling away, will always return to the man who never moved. Love is not simple. It is not easy. It does not move in a straight line, nor does it operate by predictable rules. It is a force that shakes, that transforms, that demands strength from those who dare to embrace it. A woman who loves deeply will not always show it in ways you expect. She will not always move toward you. She will not always give you the reassurance you crave. Instead, she will step back. She will hesitate. She will withdraw not because she wants to leave, but because she needs to know. She needs to know if the man she has chosen is truly strong. Weak men misunderstand this. They crumble at the first sign of distance. They chase, they plead, they demand explanations, proving with every desperate action that they are not yet whole. But strong men, men of true presence, of unwavering confidence, do not falter. They do not seek validation. They do not beg for love. They stand firm, knowing that deep love is not given to those who fear loss, but to those who embody certainty. A woman will ignore you not because she does not care, but because she cares too much. She will step back not because she has lost interest, but because she needs to see if you will remain who you are without her constant presence. And if you do, if you remain unshaken, if you continue your path, if you show her through action, not words, that your strength is not dependent on her attention, she will return. Not because you forced her, but because she sees now, beyond all doubt, that you are a man worthy of trust, of respect, of deep, unwavering devotion. Love does not reward the desperate. It rewards the strong. It rewards the men who understand that silence is not rejection, that distance is not abandonment, that true love is not something to be chased, it is something to be earned. And the man who knows this, who embodies this, who stands as an unshakable force in the face of uncertainty, is the man who will never lose the heart of a woman who truly loves him.